everyone, I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Eric.
And today, Eric and I are going to talk about the new Power Rangers trailer, the trailer for the new film that comes out in March. And Eric and I, it's kind of funny that this came out just today, because Eric and I, just a couple of days ago...
I think it was yesterday.
Was it yesterday?
I think so.
We had a long conversation about this movie and about how we felt about what we've seen so far. And yeah, it was kind of just an extension of that trailer video that we did before.
Plus some stuff we've seen with the toys and stuff.
Right, yeah, and with the Morpher, and with Goldar,
and
the Megazord. And we were debating about whether or not we would even get another trailer, because we've been showing the teaser in front of every movie I've seen in the last 3 months.
And like a trailer.
Yeah.
It's like how you run a first trailer.
Yeah, and of course, in the video we did before, you complained that all we got was a mid-morph, and that doesn't seem to be the right way to sell a Power Rangers movie. Yeah, unless that's your teaser, and then like a couple weeks later you get a trailer.
It's like a 30-second teaser.
Yeah. If it was a really short teaser and it didn't look like the trailer for the movie,
it looks like the trailer. As
always, I feel the need to give this caveat a lot, just because I'm not real impressed with the trailer, or I think we're advertising something incorrectly. Doesn't mean I think the movie is necessarily going to be terrible. I'm not impressed with the advertising for this movie.
Nope.
And based on it, and as I always say, trailers are there to get you to go to the movie. They're not there necessarily to tell you what's really in the film.
Who do they want to see this movie?
That's my big question. Just based on what I've seen thus far, this is not a movie I'd want to go to, except that I'm a massive Power Rangers fan, and I'm curious. I want to see what they do with it. And there are a couple of choices they've made that I'm very excited about.
Yep.
The biggest one, of course, being Bryan Cranston.
Yep.
But anyway, so let's go ahead and get into this. We finally have moving footage of the Rangers in costume and action, of Goldar, of even Rita fighting,
Zords.
Of what I'm assuming are supposed to be putties.
I didn't even think of that. You're probably right. Yeah.
They look like kind of generic Power Ranger monsters, but especially because one of them is a hologram in the command center. That's got to be Zordon saying, "You're going to have to go up against a bunch of these."
And he said something, and I should have had to rewind, but he said something about like something. We had to fight them.
I don't remember him saying that. He talks about how the Power Rangers were warriors.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. Let me say, I like that we're gonna have a more definitive mythology in this universe for how Zordon, or at least I'm assuming, got the power coins and what they're for, and what the Power Rangers are, and then it's not just head in a tube that somewhere along the way came up with superheroes. And trying to do a more serious version, obviously you have to have some sort of an explanation for all of that.
You make them rocks.
So making them like ancient warriors, these costumes from ancient warriors that he gives
always
to some
been,
other people.
Well, always is the wrong word, but that's been a thing for a while with Power Rangers mythology.
Has it?
I don't know where it starts, but it's definitely like a thing that we know for a while. And there was a whole thing with Lost Galaxy that got scrapped where you were supposed to find out that they were using the original Rangers suits.
Oh, cool.
And things like that.
I wish they'd done that.
Yeah, it's a weird season production-wise, like behind the scenes. There's a lot of things that they were going to do and then didn't do, and it was a whole thing. But yeah, no, that was originally going to be a reveal, was they were using the powers of the original Rangers.
Yeah, years ago when I was imagining a reboot, I made them Space Cops, and I don't want to talk about my own ideas too much, but like I bet a lot of people have thought that like they would be the Guardians of Eltar or something. So it sounds like that's what we're doing. I like that. So anyway, let's just talk about stuff visually, and then we can get into other things, little snippets of story things we can pick up here and there.
There isn't a single design choice that looks like it was designed to look good.
It's not a toy commercial.
It's not a toy commercial.
And that seems like a misstep, at least for merchandising the thing. There's a lot of things that just I don't like taste issue wise. And then I also feel like is really Transformers looking.
And trying to fix what wasn't broken.
This really looks like the Power Rangers thing that I would have thought you would make 10 years ago. And man, I feel like I'm finding myself saying that a lot lately.
It's the post-Michael Bay, post-Dark Knight Power Rangers film.
It looks like a movie that's been like and this isn't what happened, but it looks, I don't think, but this looks like a movie that was in production hell for a really long time. like a really long time, and finally we scraped the thing together and we made some compromises, and we're putting out the movie we would have put out in 2007, and we didn't like catch up to present day sensibilities.
Yep.
It just doesn't look like something you'd want to play with toys from.
And it doesn't, like...
And that may not be the movie that they're trying to make, but then that's going to hurt it, at least financially.
And most of those original designs, you can tweak and make better. Like, Goldar's a cool design. You can do that really cool.
You just make the big budget version of it.
Yeah, and it's not that. It's something else.
Yeah.
And it's all real generic. He's one solid color.
Everything is super stripped down.
Yeah, it's real uninspired.
I guess the big question is, who is the market for this movie? Because, like I said to you earlier when we were talking about this, I feel like this is a very difficult thing to sell to just a teenage audience.
Mm-hmm. Which is apparently who they're selling this movie to.
It really looks like...
They're essentially selling it to the people who just grew out of Power Rangers, whatever the modern version that they grew up with was.
Or they've forgotten that I'm 32. Again, it almost feels like they think it's still 2004, 2005.
Yeah, it's 2002, and we're making the movie because Power Rangers grew up with you.
Yeah.
But
it's like, no, we're getting into even another generation now.
Yeah.
And... So anyway, I think it would be, it's much harder to sell the characters and the mythology and because remember, Power Rangers is stuck around and there's another one every year. Mm-hmm. It's really hard to sell the original, which is considered a retro thing now, to 15-year-old kids. In a way, I don't think it is as difficult to sell something closer to what we grew up with to the parents that loved it and their young children. Mm-hmm. There's a sweet spot there right now.
Yeah.
And I feel like, again, at least from a marketing standpoint, it would make a lot more sense to make that. And that still can be a more serious film than what Power Rangers is on TV. It does not have to be a giant cheese fest. You can take... I mean, this is always my go-to example, but we did this with Space Ghost in the comics. Mm-hmm. Where we took that exact aesthetic and we made it, in some places, kind of even scary. And we didn't change what it looks like. We just put some dimension to it. And
we did this with Star Trek.
Yeah, and that's not what they're doing with this. And it doesn't even seem to really fit the material. Like, why would it look so dark and dank and drab and be multicolored?
Yeah, and they're bright. I was surprised. I assumed that we would have really toned down. They don't. They have bright colors. Those Zords are kind of garbage. They're the Zords that Michael Bay would make. They have, like, splashes of color, but they're primarily gunmetal gray. I don't like that. Make them colors.
You mean, like, make them solid colors?
Yeah, have some gray in there, like,
we're doing that
joints
exoskeleton thing again.
Yep.
Where it seems like we're trying to make them, like, partially organic or something.
Yeah.
And we're doing that with all the stuff in this, right? We're trying to make things come from nature, which... I can see a particular logic to it being a dinosaur thing, where, you know, maybe it has to do with fossils and things.
Yeah, like a techno-organic thing.
Yeah.
Which is better than the last time I tried to say that word, when I said bioorganic.
No, I want you to keep saying it like that. I don't mind the Zords as much as I did now that I've seen a glimpse of them.
I don't hate them, I just hate how much gray is on them.
And it does look like it's shot, I mean, it's CG, but it looks like it's shot like the Michael Bay movies.
Mm-hmm. Well, except for when we get the Megazord, who looks like garbage, and doesn't have a face, and all Megazords should have faces. But that doesn't look like Michael Bay. That looks like Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
We're shooting it like Pacific Rim, and they're moving like Pacific Rim. And we didn't do that well in America. I love that movie, but it didn't do that well in America. Why would that be the thing you're taking your cues from?
Yeah.
And this is...
The big thing I'm worried about is just that it's going to feel so generic it didn't need to be Power Rangers. It'll feel like it could have been anything.
Yeah. Yeah, this could have just been some other franchise. Maybe a new idea.
Yeah, and you don't want it... And like, that's always a weird argument, because obviously this gets made because of nostalgia in the first place, but then work within that.
Have some fun with it.
Yeah, exactly. So
it doesn't look like anybody's having fun with it.
I don't know, it kind of
except for jokes that shouldn't be in this movie.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Stuff I like. The Command Center looks potentially really cool.
Yep.
Zordon's
really cool looking.
is a really cool design. I like that a lot.
It's a cool kind of modern-y. I mean,
this isn't...
We did it in The Matrix.
Because again...
We've done this already, but it still looks cool.
But again, this is not me saying that everything must be exactly like it was in the show. That feels like somebody maybe kind of had a cool idea.
Yeah. What if we did like this?
And I like that we didn't modulate Bryan Cranston's voice too much. I hope that's what he sounds like in the movie.
Yeah.
I hope we don't feel the need to do a lot to it in post.
And I like that he's not doing a Zordon, but he's doing... He's not affecting a voice, but like... He's speaking more arch. He's speaking grander.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he's not trying to do the Rangers kind of voice.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you want him to play to his own strengths, certainly.
Yeah.
He's kind of doing a Jarrell thing, where he is...
I was thinking
he's
him,
gruffer, but he's gruffer because he's Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
And I like that he's using that really super serious face that he's known for.
Yeah.
I think that's really good for this material, because what I want is for this movie to take itself... I mean, I don't want it to take itself too seriously. I don't want it to be too self-serious. That's kind of what it looks like right now. That's what I'm worried about. But I want the characters in the movie to play it straight. And so I like that Zordon is playing everything super straight.
Yeah. Yeah, you can make something fun, but the characters still play it like it's the biggest deal in the world.
Yeah.
That's certainly how you do things like that.
And I kind of don't think this movie's going to perform real well, but I think he will be a draw.
I don't
think he'll be a big enough draw.
I think
there
Bryan
will be
Cranston,
people who go to that movie that wouldn't have without Cranston.
I think Bryan Cranston has become another Sam Jackson. When was the last time Bryan Cranston was in a good movie?
Well, that's true, but there will be people.
But
this is different because there will be people who were on the fence. Power Rangers is a big property that people know and have heard of, and there will be people who aren't fans of it anymore but have nostalgia from their childhood that would have been on the fence about it, and he'll put them over the edge.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. He's not good at picking movie projects.
But it's a thing that already has name recognition, and besides Godzilla, the rest of the stuff he's done has not been.
It's true. That's true, and he's barely in Godzilla.
Yeah, and he will barely be in this, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I doubt he'll have a whole lot of presence in this.
Well, everything that we see in this...
What I really want is some flashbacks with Zordon of Eltar, and he's playing him, and he's in like a partial ranger suit. I mean, I would really love to see that. I don't think they'll go that far, especially because he was cast so late in the process, that I imagine he is entirely a special effect.
Yeah. Other things, Rita looks like she's having the ball. I can't think what the actress's name is, but I like her in almost everything.
I think there's a good chance she ends up being the coolest thing about this movie, and that she draws you in, and brings you through it.
Yeah, and she looks like she's giving the performance that I would want in a Power Rangers movie. Yeah, she's having a ball.
And at the same time, like, it just feels potentially confused, right? Because at the same time, you got Zordon saying things like she's pure evil, and I'm like, okay, now it sounds more like a Power Ranger thing.
Yeah.
You know, where they're not... It doesn't seem like they're going to try to humanize her too much.
Nope, she looks like she's just evil.
She's just evil. Now, that could have come from a place, and it'd be cool if it did. I'm not saying that the movie is bad if it tries to be smart at all or about anything. I would love Power Rangers to be about something.
Yeah. Well, it's about destiny.
Yeah. I'm concerned about that, but just because we go there with everything...
I don't think we even know what that word means anymore.
Yeah, I'm with you. We keep saying it's like that it looks like Chronicle. Everybody's saying it looks a lot like Chronicle.
It does look a lot like Chronicle.
It still does. It feels to me like, and I said this to you the other day, like what I might have expected a modern Animorphs to be.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely got a little bit of paranoia running through it.
Yeah. And, of course, they're finding the spaceship in a very similar way as the Animorphs do that. Mm-hmm. And Animorphs is inherently a darker thing. Mm-hmm. I know that sounds silly to anybody that doesn't know Animorphs, but, like, people die in Animorphs. I mean, like,
it's got a real depressing ending.
Yeah, it does. I don't know. I think make an Animorphs movie and base it slightly on Chronicle. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
But anyway, you reacted when you saw Alpha 5. I don't have a problem with that yet.
I mean, it wasn't how he looked, it was how he talked. I don't know.
He's inspired real hard by 80s robots.
Yeah, no, I don't hate the look. It's a lot of the aesthetic things in this are not what I think they should be doing. What they should be doing is refining.
Yeah,
they should be making things that they should be taking designs and going, okay, this was made on $5. We have 5,000. We're going to do the $5,000 version of this. We're not doing that. We're tinkering with things, and where it's change for change's sake.
Do you know what the budget for this movie is?
What is it?
It's $150 million. They spent a lot of money on that movie, and
why?
It's not going to make it back, or at least I don't think it's going to. My prediction is it will barely or not make that money back.
Yeah, no, and we're all going to lie to ourselves. We're all going to say, no, it made its money back. It did really well at the box office because it made its money back. It did really well. Nope, that's not how that works.
I think it might have a difficult time even just making that budget back.
It has the potential to do a Warcraft thing where it doesn't do well here, but it does really well overseas.
Well, that could happen.
That's a possibility.
Yeah. Because this is the closest thing Japan is going to have to a in-theater Sentai movie, unless they've done that.
They do that every year.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah.
But I mean like a big budget one. Like, I'm just saying...
A little bit more than the TV show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, not like this, but
I'm just saying, like the Sentai crowd could help this over there.
Yeah, and they like Power Rangers. Like, that's a possible thing. I don't know how Japan feels... Or, I mean, not Japan, China feels about it. Because China was the swaying market of Warcraft. Like, we will get a Warcraft sequel because of China.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know how they feel about... I don't remember if they helped with Pacific Rim.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
So we keep talking about what we think they should be doing. When I say that, it's just for the sake of business. If I like the movie, or if the movie is really good for what they're trying to do, and it's not what I want, more power to them.
If they make a good movie, it doesn't matter.
Even if it's not the movie I want, that's great. But I don't think what they're doing is smart business-wise.
No, the smart thing would be to do their riff on Guardians. That would be the smart thing. And I keep saying that, and I'm not the biggest fan of Guardians, but that is the exact tone that I would think if you were going to make a Power Rangers movie, you'd be like, well, yes, of course. Like, that is the tone that you go for. You do this kind of fun, but still dramatic kind of a thing. Like, that's the movie I would think you would want to make if you're trying to sell Power Rangers to a new generation kind of a thing.
Yeah, and the other really bad idea, I think, that we're seeing with this trailer is selling a movie that will make parents question whether or not they should take their children.
Yep.
It's Power Rangers.
There's a drug testing peeing in a cup joke in this.
I don't know about that.
That's not the Transformers one like alone time scene, but it's in the ballpark.
Yeah, and it feels like these movies based on nostalgic childhood things are supposed to go there.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like the race joke.
Power Rangers is, no, I don't like that either. Power Rangers is where I draw the line with that. You could make a like I'm totally cool with rated R Wolverine. Yeah, okay, of course. Because I feel like I've said things in the past that have made people think that I'm against like superhero movies that are only for adults. No, not necessarily.
You could do an all-adult. You could do an all-adult Batman movie.
Yeah,
you
just
can't sell it to
market
children.
It to children. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't make toys for it.
I didn't like that we did that with BVS, and then we have a rated R director's cut.
Yep.
Don't make things for kids. Yep. Don't do that. Make sure everybody knows that it's not for them.
It's like Transformers.
Transformers
is absolutely a property you could make a really serious, dramatic film about. That's not going to play to kids. You can do that with Transformers.
Sure.
You don't need dog humping jokes. Like that is a different kind of not for children.
I'm not saying you couldn't do it with Power Rangers. Again, I don't think it's smart business. I wouldn't want you to do that. And I've got a 6-year-old that loves Power Rangers that cannot wait for this movie. I took him to Power Morphicon this year, and they were selling the movie, of course, to everybody there. I mean, like they had a setup, and they showed the toys, which somehow or rather looked cool out of the box in their display. But now that I've seen them, in stores, I'm not impressed. But anyway, there was no sense whatsoever of this is only for teenagers or adults. Don't take your little kids. And now that I've seen this trailer, it's hard not to question a little bit whether or not little kids should be taken to a Power Rangers movie.
Yeah,
that's where I draw the line.
Yep.
Even Ninja Turtles, I could see.
Yeah, because source material is a darker, more mature thing.
You do a pseudo black and white Ninja Turtles movie that is based on the original Eastman and Laird stuff, and you either make it rated R or you make it PG-13, you don't market it to kids, and you make it really clear what it is in the trailer, absolutely. And if they came out and said that with this movie, I wouldn't complain as hard about it.
Well, and it would also be different.
But it's disappointing.
And it would also be different if it looked like it wasn't for kids because we were taking Power Rangers really seriously. Now, that's not necessarily what I want for Power Rangers, but that's a different thing.
Yeah.
If you're saying, like... I don't know, we're doing Dune with Power Rangers, something like that. That's a different thing than we're having drug testing pee in a cup jokes. That's a different kind of not appropriate for kids.
Yeah, and just based on the trailer, with the few things we've looked at, it sure looks like it's likely to be tonally confused.
Yep.
Because
which
it goes
isn't surprising, given that they had 5 different people write 5 different scripts and they cobbled them together.
It looks like it might want to be all things to all people again. Another one of these.
There was a thing that I questioned in the first trailer, and this one has not alleviated.
Yeah.
That fight with Goldar, that's not going to be in the movie where it should be. That's not going to be the end of your second act or something. I think
that'll be third act.
I think the suits are third act. I think we are really getting this entire movie is what that first trailer was telling us, and everything we're seeing in this is all third act stuff.
And that's why they didn't want to show it to you too early, because they don't have that much of it.
Yeah, that's my guess. That's my prediction.
And then ironically, it ends up making the same mistake that Turbo Power Rangers movie made.
Yep.
But. And it might not be a mistake in the film proper when we see it. I don't know yet. But again, it's not what I want. There's a thing that might that suggests exactly what you're saying, which is the official synopsis on their website, which says something along the lines of like Zoran gives powers to 5 teenagers, and before they save the world, they have to conquer their own personal problems, and that makes you think that that's going to be most of the movie.
That's not what Power Rangers movie should be.
So
it's
anyway,
supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
Even like Pacific Rim is a movie that I don't think is necessarily for kids, but like,
well, there's different degrees of fun. There's different kinds of fun.
But like that's a movie that's having a lot of fun, but also being kind of depressing, at least in tone.
Yeah.
Like, this doesn't even look like it's going to do that. Unless it's like a thing where like, because they do look like they're having fun in the Zords.
Yeah.
With their stupid masks open. Oh, all of these actors no one's ever heard of. They have to have their faces in the third act. Stupid Tobey Maguire. But rewatching those movies, it's not as big a problem as we all kept acting like it was, that he constantly has to take his mask off. Right, it's not as big a problem. But it is a problem with superhero films in general.
Yeah.
Iron Man 2's got it. He keeps popping open the mask so it's Robert Downey Jr. I hate it.
It's not a thing that bothers me as much as you, but I wouldn't expect it in a Power Rangers movie.
No.
I mean, I hated it with Venom and Spider-Man 3.
It also makes me wonder how often we're actually going to see them in full suit. Are they going to like stop every time they have to say something and do this? Like, but it looks like they're
going to have that one slow motion shot where they're coming at you, and most of the rest of the time they're.
But it could be a Powerpuff Girls movie. It could be when we get to the end, they're having fun, the movie's having fun, it gets bright, and yeah, it could be that.
But the Powerpuff Girls movie is totally consistent all the way through, where like the world becomes a more fun place, but we're in on the joke, and I hope that that's somehow what this is also, because the level of absurdity that you have just conceptually with what this is, it needs to be self-aware from the beginning with characters that aren't, with characters that don't know that the world is weird and silly.
Yeah,
but we do, and I don't know if they can pull that off.
It doesn't look like it.
That's my big question. So I don't know. I'm open-minded. I want to love this movie, but I feel like I'm seeing potential red flags.
Yeah, and like if we go into this movie and like it's a big epic and it's great, like that's great. It's weird. None of the stuff with like it's not Rita. It's not like Rita looks inappropriate for kids. Like she looks too scary or anything like that. Like,
I don't think so either. I think she might be scary, but
it's
Zed's
jokes.
Scary.
It's jokes like that in the movie that makes me think you're not going to do you're not going to do what you should be doing if you're going to make like a really serious Power Rangers, or if you're going to make a Power Rangers movie not for kids. You're not doing like a real big.
They're trying to have their cake and
eat
it too, and still that's the thing is they're still trying to bring in that audience.
Yep.
With toys that look no fun to play with,
and kids like pee jokes.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't love that. I'm also like you mentioned earlier with the race gag. I don't know that we need to call attention to that. If we, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense.
I don't know what that joke is unless you have
the context,
meta,
but
unless you have the meta
like,
understanding.
I don't know what else there would be in a context, but they're all standing with different colors around them, and Billy says I'm blue. Yeah, because he's got blue around him, and then Zach says I'm black, and Billy says no, you're not. And that's supposed to be funny because they've switched the races.
Well, and it's not just no, you're not. It's like
he looks
that's not cool.
He looks almost offended. Like, you can't say I'm black. It's like, no, I'm the Black Ranger. I'm saying what you just said. There's nothing inherently offensive about that, and I don't think it's
wears black.
Funny. And I don't want to complain about it too much until I've seen it in the but I don't.
I wouldn't have put that in the trailer.
I wouldn't have put it in the trailer. Yeah. Do we need to call attention to it? Like, if we felt like that was a thing we needed to do because we were worried about offending people.
Yeah, I don't.
Maybe just don't call attention to it. Maybe you just have it there.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Is there anything else about this trailer?
I don't think so. I think I've said everything I wanted to say about it.
Yeah.
I can't say I'm not still looking forward to it because I'm really intrigued by it. Or maybe that's not the right word. I'm curious. I'm real curious.
I'm worried it's gonna be a train wreck.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm worried it's not just gonna be like not good. I'm worried it's gonna be a train wreck of a movie.
And I've said before, this is a unique thing because Power Rangers was never rebooted, so we still have Power Rangers. I mean, it's a different thing every year, but it's been that way for 17 years. It's like this is not paving over anything. It's not like this is what you're stuck with. If you like traditional, the cheesy Power Rangers, they give you that every year in some form, and the last one has been pretty okay. And the new one looks fun. So like, I want to say it's not like. It's not as big of a deal as if it's something that, like, that's all you have.
Yeah, it's a bummer because, in a way, it's kind of what everyone always wanted was, like, the original Power Rangers, but done, like, more seriously.
Yeah.
And not like that Power/Rangers thing. That was so over the top.
Yeah, and it's the characters that we started with and that I grew up with, and I like them.
It's the ones everyone knows. I'm sure there will be a post-grad scene. It'll be Zed or Green Ranger. It's one of the two. That's going to happen.
Yeah.
And we'll never see whatever that pays off to be because this movie will not get a sequel. Or here's the thing. One of two things happens. This is not a very good movie and nobody goes to see it. Or it's a train wreck and everyone loves it and it does gangbusters. Those are the two options for this movie as far as I see it. Or it's legitimately good and no one goes to see it. Those are the three options that could happen with this movie.
It would have to be phenomenal. It would have to be more phenomenal. If
more phenomenal, you say? More phenomenal than what?
If the way they've been advertising it, it ends up being actually a really, really great movie. It's gonna have to be like really critically acclaimed to get people to, or word of mouth to get people to keep going to it after the first weekend, I think.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they're advertising it right, and I don't feel like there's really the buzz around it they might have expected.
There's no buzz around it. The only people I know talking about this are people that already like Power Rangers. I don't know anyone else talking about this movie.
Except for people just who like will see the trailer at a movie and will offhandedly be like, to someone they know likes Power Rangers, hey, did you know there's a Power Rangers thing coming out?
Yeah.
But that's about it. That's
and
all I've heard
and you said that we've been running this trailer in front of every movie. Every time we've gone to a movie, there was someone near me who's like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh,
that's what that is?"
Yeah. That's the reaction I've gotten every single time this trailer has played.
I think if they made a really crazy, over the top, insane cheese fest, people would be talking about it all over the place.
Yeah.
I really do. I think if it looked like the most absurd thing you've ever seen...
Yeah, if it like, really leaned into it.
And you would have been embarrassed to watch it 20 years ago, that's the movie that would have netted them that $150 million back.
Yeah, like a reverse Sin City.
Yeah.
Like just something really bright and colorful and just over the top, and you can still do drama in that kind of thing.
Sure you can. Yeah. Lego Movie did it.
Yeah. Yeah, of all of the ways for this movie could have gone. People like the
slapstick in Star Trek.
Yeah, yeah. Of all the ways this movie could have gone, it looks like I'm not saying it is, but it looks like from the trailer, it is the single worst way.
It looks like the most counterintuitive way. It doesn't look like anything anybody asked for.
No. Well, but it also looks like it's trying to be what everyone asked for. Everyone asked for.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
So they're just cherry picking disparate elements.
Yeah.
Not making a cohesive. We'll see.
Yeah. And it's one of those things, right, where it's like, well, we can't make it for the people that want to see this movie because they won't fill a football stadium. The only people that are going to see this movie are the people that want to see this movie before it was announced.
Yeah.
And you didn't make that movie for them.
As I always say, you can win people over.
Yeah.
You could turn people into Power Rangers fans, and you could, and I mean, this sounds awful, but with this particular property, I think you have to play on nostalgia a little bit.
And we're not doing that at all.
I mean, a little.
We don't even have a riff of the theme song.
It's Morphin' Time. Yeah, we do at the end of the trailers.
Do we?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the end of the trailers go bum 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 bum. Like it's there subtly right at the end of each trailer. Like Jason says, it's Morphin' Time. I don't know what that's going to be like in context.
Yeah. Anyway. I said this to you the other day.
I thought the video was done. Sorry, go ahead.
I said this to you the other day.
Yeah.
I'm still calling this. The second after he says that, someone, probably Billy, because it looks like Billy's going to be the obnoxious character, probably Billy's like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard anyone say ever. I'm pretty sure.
We're all supposed to think that's funny.
Yep, and we're all going to be like, ha, it is dumb. But we thought it was cool when we were kids because we were dumb. Ha, ha, ha. I don't. Yeah. I don't want that movie.
Yeah.
And I'm worried that that's the movie that they made.
Since we're still going, we're gonna finish up here in a second. I'm not.
If you could wrap it up a little bit.
I'm not sure I want to see Zed in this universe. Not with what they.
Not with how they're redesigning everything. No.
Yeah.
Goldar's
just really. The thing, there's no reason to ever mess with.
And I don't think Goldar needs to be messed with that much.
You can enhance him. Mm-hmm. You can. I was saying this earlier. Like, I don't know if we're gonna get Zed, but as Eric says, if you tease anything at the end,
it's Zed or
Green Ranger or Zed. Maybe both. But I would want to. Zed comes in with the green power coin, and
he's got the shield on. It's just Zed with the Green Ranger.
That's
shield.
really great. And then he's like, "This is actually strangely uncomfortable." What would be? No. I was gonna say.
I feel really encumbered by this.
We get to the very end of the credits, and it's Thanos. It's like the Thanos thing.
It's Zed in his chair.
No, it's Zed in his chair. Well, they spin around, dun 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 dun, and then he pulls up the green power coin, and he goes, "I guess I'll have to do it myself." That's what it is.
No, because this movie wasn't made in the post-Avengers world. Clearly, this movie was not made in the post-Avengers world.
That's a good point.
They don't realize that movies have fun.
They don't realize we've had.
You're going to be you're going to be really dark and serious, but you're also going to be like bottom of the barrel humor. That's the movies we're making. No other movies exist for superhero films.
Eric said something to me earlier that I had not thought about, and I literally hit myself in the face with something. I said Bryan Cranston was of course the perfect choice for Zordon, and he goes, "Yeah, unless you made him Zed." I never thought of that! How dare you! Anyway, everybody, thanks a lot for watching. We sure appreciate it. I'll leave your comments. Really looking forward to seeing what people think about this movie so far. And in the meantime, I am Captain Logan.
I'm Eric.
And we'll see you next time.